It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is news that you can use from CarEdge for Friday, February 16th, with your hosts, me, Ray, and, well, that other guy, Zach. And if I may, if I can quote Gordon Gekko from the movie Wall Street from 1987, greed is good, my friend. Greed is good.
All right, folks, we're going to jump right into it. Ford, GM, and Ram got greedy, and now they are, yell it, Pop, screwed. Before we do, today's show is brought to you by us. New
Not
homepage,
us.
man.
Look
New
at that.
homepage, caredge.com. Look at that. We got the new homepage. Us looking
Yeah.
good right there. Dad, let's jump right into it.
Okay.
The latest data from Cox Automotive, new vehicle inventory hits an 80 days supply in January. All right, 80 days supply of new cars. Before I even scroll to the chart that shows you the fact that Ford, GM, and Ram, and Chrysler, and Dodge, and Lincoln all are very much so struggling to sell their vehicles, I want to put you to the test real quick. What do you think, at the height of the shortage of new car inventory, was the days supply, new car days supply? Because again, right now it's 80. New car days supply is 80. What do you think at the height of the shortage?
At the height of the shortage, 25 maybe?
25 is a great guess. A year ago, Dad, it was 59. All right.
Yes.
So a year ago this time, it was a 59 days supply. So we've gone from 59 to 80 in about a year. Dad, at the height of the pandemic, the height of the shortage amidst the pandemic, excuse me, a better way to frame it, 31 days supply of new cars. Pre-pandemic, Dad, pre-pandemic, we actually had, all the way back to March 11th, 2020, a 68 days supply.
Ooh.
We are at, right now, in this moment in time, a higher days supply of new vehicle inventory than we were at pre-pandemic, pre-chip shortage, pre-all of that. And the automakers that are leading the way in terms of being flooded with inventory that their dealers can't sell are the domestics. There's absolutely no indication that it's any others than the domestics. They raised their prices a bunch. They got greedy, and now their cars, and especially their trucks, aren't selling.
Yeah, they got greedy. Greed is good. They're selling fewer cars and making more money doing it. You just let me know. I'll be curious as to when they can sell just one car, okay, and still be making the kind of money they're making, because obviously they're trying to see if they can do that. Yeah, prices went up way too much. The chip shortage gave every manufacturer this idyllic view of how they could do things, that prices could just skyrocket. The American public would continue to buy things, buy cars regardless of price. And now suddenly there's this realization that, well, maybe that's not exactly how it's going to work.
The days supply is higher now than it was before the shortages. I mean, that's crazy when you think about it, especially considering how deep the shortages were, how deep the supply cuts and the inventory. We had less than 1 million new cars in inventory. Dad, from the lowest lows to present, new car inventory is up 195% in 30 months.
That's pretty sizable, isn't it?
That's insane.
Well, it's not really insane. Okay.
No, it is.
Let's put it in perspective. Prior to March 2020, go back another year, say March 2019. Well, average new car on hand or in transit inventory destined to hit dealerships in any given month was probably somewhere around 3.4 to 3.5 million vehicles. So yes, the increase from the low point is really dramatic, but it is still significantly less than what normal inventory levels had been well before the pandemic. I would suggest that the manufacturers are concerned because they probably don't want new car inventory to be more than 2.4 to 2.5 million, and it keeps creeping up on them. Even though they're shutting down some of the plants, they're shutting down some of the some of the shifts, but they're still producing more cars than what they know to do with.
But you know this better than anyone, Dad. Wholesale to dealer relationship. They actually don't care. They do care if dealers start denying allocation, which we know is happening nationwide. Dealers are turning down allocation. They have been for months. And that actually puts an immense amount of pressure on the manufacturers because they are then the ones paying floor plan costs to have those cars sit somewhere. It's not free to have a car sit in a parking spot. Someone's paying for it. And right now, if you're Stellantis, you're paying for thousands, potentially even tens of thousands of vehicles nationwide that your dealers are rejecting to take on. And then your pitch to them is, but be a good partner. The dealers just said, screw you.
You know, I remember when I was with the Penske organization and I was with Acura North Scottsdale. It started as Scottsdale Acura first, and then we moved up to Chauncey Ranch, and it became Acura North Scottsdale. And I was with them for 10 and a half years, almost 11 years. And I realized early on that Acura, as much as they like to tell you they're your partner, they're not your partner. And the reason they're not your partner is because when you're bleeding red, they're not stroking you a check to make you whole. You know, the partnership is a partnership when they can't produce enough cars and dealers will take every car that they manufacture. Suddenly, when they are overproducing vehicles and you're not willing to take all those overproduced vehicles, it is no longer a partnership. It is a negotiation. It's a dance. It literally is let the games begin. It is threats. Well, if you don't take these cars we've allocated, when there's something you need, don't come calling us. Or if you were to take, say, 25 of these vehicles that you don't need, we'll give you a couple of these really hot vehicles that nobody can get their hands on. It all becomes a dance and a negotiation. And in real partnerships, that's not how it works. You're there for each other, okay? You'll help each other. You won't jam stuff down somebody's throat because you've built too much of it. And that's what you're seeing at some of your domestic manufacturers right now. They have overproduced and they are fighting tooth and nail to get their dealers at much higher interest rates today to take all these extra cars.
I'll flash it on the screen. Here's an allocation list from an OEM to dealers. These are the vehicles that are currently sitting at this Stellantis, obviously, sitting there, and they're begging their dealers to take them.
Yes. And negative
These are
numbers
not one or two cars. These are hundreds of vehicles.
Yes. Negative numbers like that mean those are, for instance, the Ram light duty crew Laramie. There's an extra 422 that have been allocated that dealers have turned down. Okay. And so the factory rep suddenly has to be begging every Dodge dealer and every Ram dealer that has more pickup trucks than they know what to do with. They're begging them to take more because they want them on the dealership's floor plan line of credit. They don't want it on Stellantis's line of credit. Stellantis, much like Ford, much like GM, like every manufacturer, they
put you on the spot, Pops.
Well, let me just say this. They only know how to wholesale cars. Okay. Yep. They know how to build them and wholesale them to their dealers. They have no concept whatsoever what it takes to actually retail them.
Let me put you on the spot. What do you think the most turned down make and model is for Stellantis right now? There's two that are really by and large being turned down the most by dealers.
Hornet.
Hornet's close. Hornet's number 3.
Oh, the Hornets number 3. They're still trying to force dealers to take some more of the slowest selling vehicle by day supply in the country.
I want to pull up Igor's comment while you answer this, because Igor, I hear you, specific models, but Igor, I'll show the rest of this list, man. It's pretty much every Stellantis product is being turned down. Maybe not like, the demons or whatever, but like pretty much everything's being turned down. I'll scroll through it here in just a second.
Grand Wagoneer. What do you think? Grand Wagoneer?
Not the Grand Wagoneer, probably just because they don't produce enough of them, in high enough volumes.
I have no idea.
The Jeep Compass and the Ram 2500.
Wow. That's like a lot of vehicles and is that nationwide or is that a regionalized listing?
And this is a regionalized number. This is not nationwide. This is regionalized.
And I was going to say
that's sit in.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a particular zone or region, and those are all the extra vehicles that Stellantis is trying to get their dealers to take.
They're screwed, guys. I mean, it's like, no, I mean, they're going to make money still. Don't, everyone's going to still figure out ways to make money. But I bet you we see a lot of dealer consolidation because there's going to be curtailment payments. I had actually a wholesaler reach out to me and share a list from Avis and Budget of all the cars that they're trying to get rid of. They couldn't get rid of them at the auction, or they're still trying to get rid of them at the auction, but they went out to their like wholesaler list and said, hey, here's all the cars we're trying to get rid of. And it was a huge list, hundreds of cars. It's happening everywhere. And it's because curtailment payments. They are actually, the banks are finally coming to them. So there's two things at play. The OEM has cars they're still trying to get rid of. And then the dealers who are sitting on cars that they can't get rid of, the banks are then saying, pay up. We're done floor planning these. We're done financing these. It's a sticky situation, man. I know you're saying 195% increase in inventory is like put it into perspective and everything, but 195% increase over 30 months is wild. The low was super low, but we're already back up to a non-trivial high, and the pressure it's going to put on the industry is immense.
Well, the difference between what 2.61 million vehicles now and when it was 3.4 or 3.5 million vehicles is interest rates were hovering around 1 to 1.5% when there was 3.5 million cars, and interest rates today for floor plan are probably hovering somewhere around 6.5 to 7%. That is a significant difference. The cost to actually floor plan 2.61 million vehicles is higher today than what the cost was to floor plan 3.4 or 3.5 million vehicles. So it is
well said, Dad.
It's less efficient for dealers to hold on to cars today than it was 5 years ago.
You're so right. It's such a good point. Robert Ott earlier in the show
Thank you, Robert.
gave a kind contribution. I don't see any text with it, so I think that means one thing and one thing only.
Yeah, buddy. Here we go. He's my son says I need to get more exercise. Now, folks, apparently you can contribute to that. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to contribute to that. But if you want to, I'll chair dance for you.
All right, let's answer Keith's question here. What about Toyota? So interesting.
What about Toyota?
Yeah, interesting things going on at Toyota. So let's take a trip down memory lane real quick. So this is the height of the chip shortage and the inventory shortage. You can see there, Toyota had a 17 days supply of inventory nationwide. So what's going on with Toyota nowadays? Let's zoom in. Toyota's days supply of inventory is at 36. So I'm going to zoom into that. 30. Come on. I can't zoom my finger. There we go. 36 days supply at Toyota right now. So more than double. I was talking to a Toyota dealer recently, Dad. I learned that Toyota floor plan, they'll only subsidize 30 days of floor plan. Very different than some of the domestic automakers who will subsidize upwards of 60 to 90 days.
Yes.
So 30 days. So if you've got a 36-day supply, Toyota dealers are trying to turn inventory quickly, which I should say, comes as no surprise now, folks. You can buy a Toyota on CarEdge.com. We have Toyota dealers that we're now working with. So you can buy on CarEdge.com. You don't even have to go to a dealership. You can buy directly through CarEdge. And I think that's even though it says 36-day supply, what's going on at Toyota? They have more inventory than they know what to do with. One of the dealer partners we just signed up is getting 500 cars next month, Dad. 500 cars.
Okay. That is a lot of cars, but how many do they normally sell? So everything's relative. And And the interesting thing about that is if Toyota only covers floor plan interest for 30 days, for many of those Toyota dealers, floor plan assistance from Toyota is still a profit center for them because they are turning their vehicles so quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas, you look at the other end of the spectrum, I think it was Dodge was 153 days supply. I don't know how much or how long Stellantis will provide floor plan assistance, but it probably can't be more than 60 or 75 days. And if your inventory sitting for double that, well, guess what? That's a huge expense once that floor plan assistance runs out. So it's pretty remarkable what we're seeing and how it can impact dealers. Now, having said that, that should translate for those dealerships that have more inventory than they know what to do with. That should translate into better deals for the customers, greater motivation from the dealers to move the metal. Not all dealers, not all brands, but if you're looking at Dodge, there should be some deals to be had. If you're looking at Jeep, there should be some deals to be had.
There's deals everywhere, man. I mean, we're seeing it, right? Like we're working now with Toyota dealers, and like they're willing to go significantly under MSRP on most vehicles. Not everything. Yes. There's still some some pockets of the country, and also certain makes and models that'll go below that they will try not to go below MSRP. Yes. But like the car market's back, man. I mean, it's 100% back. It is interesting though. Remember Mazda, actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, back in December had like an 80 days supply, and now they're down to a 59 days supply. So for those of you that are interested in a Mazda, we still have Mazda through the CarEdge, through CarEdge.com. But like, these things can fluctuate fairly quickly. That's partly what you see when you look at something like this. But to your point, generally speaking, domestics, you're going to get much more. If you're not getting 15% off your Jeep, you didn't do it right. Versus if you get, a couple percent off a Toyota, well done.
If you pull that list back up, there was one brand that shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah, which one?
Hyundai. 93-day supply of vehicles.
No wonder Hyundai dealers are working with us now at CarEdge. You can buy a Hyundai on CarEdge.com.
That would indicate that there are certain models of Hyundais that are no longer moving as quickly as they had been, that the demand for those have diminished. You should be able to get a deal on a Hyundai. Now, I'm not going to sit here and suggest you're going to get a deal on the new body style Santa Fe that just came out, or what I would call the Korean Defender, because all the styling cues came right off of the Land Rover Defender, but.
You're funny, man.
Well, it's true,
I know.
but I don't think you're going to be able to get any real discounts on those. But the the prior model Santa Fe should be deals to be had, and on some of their EVs, deals to be had. Mm-hmm. So, you take a look at at that day supply, and it just indicates that even the brands that have been selling the best are now starting to accumulate inventory.
Yeah, 100%. We're seeing it again. The conversations we're having with dealers makes that very, very clear. And then the deals that we're seeing with customers make it very, very clear. And then obviously, again, the domestics are the one, Ford, GM, Ram. They're the ones that are struggling absolutely unequivocally the most, and then your import brand struggling less, but the market has entirely flipped for them. It's so different than it was before. Yes. Dad, let's come here. Robert sent in another contribution. Thank you, Robert. Hello again. Still working at Dana in Toledo. I talk to people that work at Jeep, and the employees that park new cars have the hardest job. No more room. All the lots they have in the city.
Wow.
I believe it. If you're out and about and you drive past a local dealership, take a photo, take a video, send it to me, Zach, ZACH at CarEdge.com. Would love to see would love to see that footage. Dad, I want to come here to the chat. Al says there are some serious lease deals from Toyota around me. That'll be regionalized. But yes, we're going to start to see more and more lease incentives and just incentives in general from the automakers. Yep.
And Toyota has said specifically they want to grow their lease portfolio again. At one time, they were leasing about 30% of the products that they sold were leases. That number dropped down to about 16%. They want to try and get that back up close to 30% again. So that means, as a manufacturer, they will underwrite those payments in order to make them affordable enough to get more people to consider a lease as opposed to a purchase. And the reason it's good for the manufacturer, most leases are 36-month leases. The customer has to decide every 3 years, what am I going to do with the car? Am I going to just get a new one? Am I going to buy this one out? So it brings good quality used cars back into the marketplace when they have leases.
Definitely. Absolutely. Toyota, as you said, has made a taken a stance that they want to improve lease penetration. Darren says, we know they cannot sell cars, dealers. Data shows that. But when will they understand this? How much will dealerships lose if they mark down cars? Dealers are losing lots of money selling new cars right about now. They were previously, new cars, like pre-pandemic, were not big profit centers. And then during the pandemic, they became huge profit centers. And now they're going back to being not profit centers. And the real factor, you said it really well earlier, that's floor plan. If you're a dealer and you've got $10 million in inventory and you're paying 8, 9, 10% interest on it to sit there, it just makes more sense to get off of it. Really, where dealers make money is service, parts and service, fixed operations. So yeah, I bet you end up seeing a lot of consolidation this year. Dealerships that would have gone under but get merged or acquired simply because they can't float and finance their operations any longer.
You have heard me say this before, but every vehicle that is on a dealer's lot, if you're a GM, a GSM, a new car manager, a used car manager, a sales manager, you have to subscribe to the theory that every one of those vehicles looks better in a customer's driveway than it does on your lot. You just have to come to that realization. And if you have a living, breathing, credit-worthy customer who is threatening,
those are the three criteria: living, breathing, and credit-worthy.
Yes, who is threatening to relieve you of one of those many vehicles that you have, it is your obligation to figure out how to make that happen. And if you don't, shame on you, because that vehicle looks so much better in that customer's driveway than it does collecting dust on your parking lot.
And again, folks, the new business model for 2024 is let us do that for you. Again, CarEdge.com. We've got some President's Day specials going on, both on the extended warranty through CarEdge and then various vehicles through our dealer network behind the scenes. So please, 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 we need all the help we can get to actually perfect this process and really change the way cars are bought nationwide. So if you're in the market, please consider giving CarEdge a try. Dad, let's come back here to the chat. Phil B would love to see you get some exercise with his Wilt Chamberlain.
And that was at the Hershey Arena that Wilt Chamberlain scored those 100 points. Nobody probably remembers that. There's probably 30,000 people that said they were there. And that arena didn't hold anywhere near 30,000 people. And if I remember correctly, he made something like 30 out of 32 foul shots in that game. Wow. And in his career, he was like a 50% foul shooter. It was a remarkable night that very few people actually witnessed.
100 points, man. Pretty incredible. I've never even scored like 10 in pickup basketball. Let's come here, Dad.
There's a reason you can't shoot.
To Eric, do floor plan companies eventually cut off a dealership if inventory keeps building? Does a dealer have to get outside money or go under? Yes, it's called curtailment payments.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a limit. I mean, when the floor plan institution, the bank, whoever it is, they look at your financials and they go, okay, you can handle up to $8 million. Well, as inventory sits, and all that inventory today is more expensive than it used to be, it doesn't take much to get to $8 million. But as the inventory builds up and the manufacturer wants to give you more cars, and suddenly you're at your $8 million limit, but there's another $2 million worth of cars that the manufacturer is trying to give you, that creates an issue. Either the floor plan company increases your credit limit, or you start looking for another floor plan company because you can't get your cars in. It's interesting stuff, trust me.
Yeah. And then you also have curtailment payments. So you can't hit the maximum of your line of credit, and the bank can say, we're done financing this one. We're good. Pay your interest. We're moving on.
As Igor says, banks review your floor plan line of credit situation every quarter. And it's just part of the business. Which is the other reason why, if there's a sales manager anywhere that doesn't take the threat seriously when a customer says, I want to buy that vehicle, and doesn't figure out how to make it happen, well, he shouldn't be a salesman. He or she should not, in my opinion, he or she should not be a sales manager. He or she should not be in charge of deciding what is or what isn't a deal.
100% Pops. Absolutely agree. All right. I want to move to our favorite segment of the show. Before I do,
yes,
David Langle. David, it was great having you on the show earlier this week. Thank you for the contribution. Zach, the local Ram dealer by me, has 2022 new Ram Black Widow trucks, 40 2023 Rams, and now 25 2025 Rams. They have issues.
Oh, do they ever?
Describe it.
Yes.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Dad, let's jump into our favorite segment of the show. If you're game for it, let's stay a little long on today's show, and we can keep doing Q&A for a little bit. There's been a lot of interesting questions, but there are two really, really, really great. Really?
Really? I mean, really? You gotta be kidding me.
Wasn't sure which one to start with, but we'll start here. Ford's Jim Farley says he regrets not tackling quality problems sooner as CEO. Farley said Ford would be, quote, much stronger today had he more quickly focused on fixing long-standing quality issues when he became CEO.
Yeah, it wasn't like those issues weren't there when he got hired. And it was like, let's worry about that next quarter. And then the next thing you know, 3 years in a row, Ford is leading the league in recalls with quality issues, all during Jim Farley's tenure. Yeah. Who would have thought that maybe you should pay some attention to where Ford's slogan is quality is job none, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And finally, 3 years into your reign of terror, in my opinion, you say, hey, maybe I should have paid more attention to this sooner.
This next one, Dad, next one that I pull up, please be on your best behavior, okay?
I'll do my best.
Lucid CEO just so happened to get a $6 million bonus because, well, Lucid just launched they haven't really sold any, but they've talked about selling a new electric SUV. Lucid CEO also had a compensation package. What was it, a year ago?
$183 million or something like that.
So what do you make of this, Dad? And be careful, please.
Well, all I'm going to say is if you can get a $6 million bonus because you might actually launch something, then I need a raise, buddy, because we might actually launch something that's successful, that makes money, so in anticipation of that time when we skyrocket, okay, I think you should pay me now while I'm alive.
Yeah, okay? That's a good point. While you're alive.
Because if you pay me now while I'm alive, I'll spend most of that money on you and Laura and Dara and Zach so that you kids can have a lifetime's worth of memories and I can have a few years worth.
Insanity, man. A $6 million bonus for doing a presentation about a car that may or may not actually come after a $183 million pay package last year. bonkers
for
dude.
a
Bonkers.
company that lost like $2 billion.
Yeah.
Nothing at Lucid spells success quite like failure. Okay. Yeah. You know, if they would, my guess is that if Lucid were to actually make money, his pay plan would call for him to have to give money back to them. And because of that, they're never going to make money.
Insanity, man. I saw that and I just knew you'd get a kick out of it. And then obviously the Ford stuff, it's like, come on.
Well,
man.
yeah, I mean, you know, some of the things that Farley said. And then the other thing that they said, well, you know, and well, we just have to figure out how to make an affordable EV profitably. No, you know, there's that old saying, no poop, Sherlock. You know, how do they get these $20 million a year jobs? I mean, how? Based on what? They you know, 3 years in, you state the obvious. I mean, goodness gracious. Why don't they just pay me $1 million a year to come in and scold them?
No, that's what they pay McKinsey to do, Dad. And they pay way more than $1 million. I don't know. Maybe we should set up a consulting practice. That could be our thing. It could be Shefska and Shefska, and it could be our consulting practice.
Yeah. Bring Ray and Zach in to scold you, to tell you everything you're doing wrong, and to remind you of the things that you should have done better. Yeah. I don't know.
We'll at least have some fun doing it.
What was that?
And at least we'll have some fun doing it.
Oh, absolutely. You know, obviously I really effed up in life because because here I am. Oh, can I say something to you? Last night I had some General Tso's chicken. It was delicious, by the way. Guy calls me up, says, delivery here. I go downstairs. First words out of his mouth, "You're CarEdge." Well, yes, I am. Oh my God, I watch your videos all the time. I said, I certainly hope you weren't watching them when you were driving over here. But he was in absolute shock. And then Angela at the front desk, she said, You're a celebrity? Oh my God, I'm a YouTube sensation, Angela. You have no idea. So here I am.
I'm so glad that
72 and a half years old. And you know, a 23-year-old Chinese food delivery guy was like really excited to hand me my food last night.
I would love to show everyone. I've been working on a project for my dad. We're going on a family vacation. Can't wait. I am
share it.
I am working very hard. This is the first year where I'm excited for a vacation. When we go on family vacations, you sometimes see my dad on the show wear Team Shefska. Shefska's our last name. Team Shefska gear. So I got a designer to work with us so that we could get some gear for going to Puerto Rico. So here is the potential shirt that we are working on, and I'll actually zoom in on the graphic here so everyone can see it. I think the back of the shirt really looks great with my dad riding a horse in Puerto Rico throwing money. And I'm just curious how our community, how folks that engage with us feel about this shirt. Would you wear this shirt if we put it out there? Because I think it's one of the best creations I've ever been a part of. What do you think?
And the whole horse thing comes from, for whatever reason, I've always had this crazy desire, and I
really looks like if he was the CEO of Lease.
and I wish that I could have fulfilled this desire while your mother was still alive. Of course, but I always had this crazy desire to go horseback riding on a beach with your mother. At this point, I'd like to go horseback riding on a beach with you kids. And so that was the inspiration for the back of the shirt. Me riding a horse on the beach in Puerto Rico, making it rain, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think this comment sums it up. That shirt is crazy weird. Yeah, I totally agree. It's absolutely
Yeah.
stick to cars, not t-shirts. Hey, we had fun. Hey, I see a couple questions coming through. People asking about like pre-approvals and things like that. CarEdge.com/deal school, 100% free. One of
Yes.
the best things we've ever produced. Maybe we'll do a refresh this year. Please go check it out. CarEdge.com/deal school. So even as we're sitting here joking around a little bit, and I'm always talking about how you can buy the car from us, you can also get help. Just go into deal school.
Yes.
CarEdge.com/deal school. 100% free. Dad, let me pull this up here from 9 Mil Norm. Thanks for the contribution. Ray is holding back the world's biggest no crap talking about Ford CEO. LOL. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Pretty much.
that's because according to YouTube, if you want to be monetized, you can't curse. Um, and
Yeah.
you know, the beauty of being in the car business is in the dealership. If you don't curse, something is wrong with you. It is. It's just so. It's so hard for me to monitor.
Not curse. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
my
you do a good job.
language. In real life,
Yeah. You
and
do a good job.
especially live on air.
Definitely. You do a really good job. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I try.
Phil, thank you for the contribution. Thank you again. Haven't needed a new car, but I recommended CarEdge to a womanly friend. It just means a female friend.
Yeah.
End it for me a date. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Glad. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing what we're up to. And then we've got from LQ here, CarEdge is trash. They just want to charge you a monthly fee. I just signed up and they give you 3 free report looks at price, except it stopped after one. I'm sorry, it stopped after one, LQ. If you email me directly, Zach, ZACH at CarEdge.com or help, HELP at CarEdge.com, we can make sure you get all 3 for free. And yes, we do charge for pretty much all of our products except for all the content. All the content's free. And that's how we can pay for things like, going on that family trip to Puerto Rico, or the fact that 35 people work at CarEdge. Yeah, that's how we pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Not for everyone, and that's okay. We understand.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad.
Yes.
Let's jump back to the chat here. We had a
Yes.
couple more questions come through. Can we give people some advice?
Yeah, I think I can.
Negotiating for a car, do you believe doing it online versus in person is better? Is there an advantage to the customer?
Well, the advantage is to try and do it online through emails if the dealership will do that. There's not enough dealerships that will, because they don't feel comfortable enough in sharing their pricing without having you at the dealership. The idea behind it is if you're at the dealership, ultimately they could just talk you into buying the car and you'll never leave until you left with your new vehicle. And then there's still old school dealerships out there that, they're not going to share anything with you online or via email, only if you show up. My suggestion would be to try and avoid the old school dealerships that don't want to provide you with any information without you being there. They should be secure enough in their pricing to be able to justify their pricing and still give you the pricing via email. If they can't, I'm pretty sure that's not a dealership I would want to do business with.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I'm going to take a second and toot our own horn just one more time, Dad. When you buy a car from CarEdge, I got to be careful here. Give me 1 second. This actually has.
We'll give you all the time you need.
It's got a customer's information. So let me just delete that.
No, delete that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Bear with me. Delete. One more. Delete. Okay, we're good to go. Let me share this on the screen. When you actually purchase through us, this is something that we built. Rather than dealing with all the dealers' OTD quotes, you get an online copy of an OTD quote. Yeah. So this is, what is this for? This is for a Toyota Camry that a customer is looking at. Here it is, right there. It's MSRP.
Zoom in.
Discount. What was that?
Zoom in.
Zoom in on what?
On that, so people can see it easier.
We make money. We charge a fee.
Yes.
Taxable fees, sales tax, non-tax fees. If there are any incentives or anything, if you're going to finance it, it's all right here. You can play around with that. Maybe you're going to put $5,000 down. Here's how that would impact things. Maybe you're going to finance for 72 months. you have a pre-approval already at 7.5%. Like it's not bad, man. I'm very proud.
It's
Yeah,
right
gap
there.
insurance, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really, really proud of that.
As well you should be, young man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do things online. That's an example of it.
Yes.
That's exactly what we've been able
If
to
the
do.
dealership that you're trying to deal with doesn't want to do things online, and you feel comfortable doing business with us, then we can provide you all that information online.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good. The transparency is good.
Yes.
Andrew said, "Hey guys, I've got a question. If you have the time, so I've got 3 vehicles between my wife and I, and they're all paid off. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My current daily driver is a 2021 Ford EcoSport, and the warranty is up in April. It's a Ford out of warranty.
Yes.
I can't believe I said a Ford out of warranty. I'm nervous.
Yes.
My question is, what if I got an extended warranty on it now and decide to sell it and just go down to 2 vehicles? Does the warranty travel with the car or no way? Most of them are transferable, but I would also remind you or let you know, you can cancel and get a prorated refund at any time on those warranty products.
So yes to both.
So like, yeah, it's probably transferable, and just cancel it and get a prorated refund.
Yeah, if you go to sell it and the person who wants to buy it doesn't want to pay what it would cost for the vehicle with the warranty, say, hey, well, we could take the extended warranty off, and you
And just
cancel the warranty and get a refund.
Yeah, 100%. Just cancel it.
Yeah.
I know our administrator charges a $50 cancellation fee. I'm pretty sure that's like standard in the industry. So there is like typically a fee associated with it, but still you get your prorated refund.
Yes.
And we're running our President's Day sale, $150 off on extended warranties back on our website. Frank Vibes, thank you for the contribution. Bought a 2010 RAV4 on offer up for only $8,000. Only had 90,000 miles. Done with dealers. Did have to fix the transmission though.
Okay. Well,
so
there's that old saying that, we started the show with Gordon Gekko saying greed is good. And then there's that other old saying that goes something like this: you get what you pay for. Okay. Yeah. So if there's a reason that you could get that vehicle at the price you got it for with only 90,000 miles, that's because, well, it needed some tranny work.
Yeah. Gotta know what you're getting yourself into on any used car. Please
get a pre-purchase inspection.
Yeah, please get a pre-purchase inspection. It's absolutely critically important. Okay, are we doing a show tomorrow night? We haven't gone on a Saturday night in a long time. I'm around.
Let me check my calendar. Let me check.
Are you around?
I'm free. Yeah, I'm free.
You're free? You sure you're free?
What is it? NBA Saturday night AllStar Weekend? Who gives a crap?
Okay, I guess we're gonna do a show.
Yeah, I mean, I live for sports. I love sports. All-star games are a waste of time and money for both the participants and the fans in the stands. 2 years ago, when we were in Las Vegas, we went to the NFL Pro Bowl.
The only thing that was cool about that is that it was in Vegas. That was cool. We got to see the stadium, Allegiant, but that is the dumbest game ever, man.
It was like it's kind of like touch football, but we really aren't even interested in doing that. We got there halfway through the first quarter, okay, and we were with a group of people, and we left before the 2-minute warning at halftime. That's how bad it is. So you would never get me. I mean, I know TNT is going to make such a big deal out of All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis this weekend, but I can't watch that crap.
We're on tomorrow night, folks. We'll be right here on the Ray and Zach channel. Hey, one other thing, Dad.
Yes.
I almost forgot. You all know I track all these cars with Carvana. The offers are going up like crazy. Okay, I got a bunch of emails recently.
Yes.
CarEdge.com/sell. Just check what your car's worth, because I'm seeing, and we're gonna make videos about it. We're seeing the spring selling season or tax time start to impact used car values. Like, I've tracked multiple Carvana cars. I meant to bring it up earlier in the show, but this offer is up 22% in a month. 22% in a month.
Yeah.
Used car prices are starting to go back up. That means trade-in values are starting to go back up. It's just going to be a momentary blip during spring selling season. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow night. But yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that. CarEdge.com/sell. See what your car's worth. Get offers from multiple dealers instantly. Yeah.
May I say one other thing? My latest, because God knows I hadn't bought a watch in a while.
Did you buy another new watch? Is this a new one?
This is brand new. It just arrived yesterday, and I adjusted the band to fit my wrist today. This is a Spinnaker Dumas Regatta White, automatic movement, ladies and gentlemen, on sale, $194. Not a bad looking watch for $194 with a it's got the display back so you can see the inner
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think and it's automatic and it's waterproof to 1,000 feet. So I bought this for Puerto Rico when that
in case you go overboard
back and I end up in the ocean. I can go down 1,000 feet before this will let any water in. Yeah. What do you think?
You're a funny guy.
I thought it was pretty attractive, honestly, because I wanted a watch with a white face. Okay,
is this QVC? Not
it
yet.
Could be. It could be if they pay us.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, we are seeking out sponsors for the podcast. So if you think of a brand that would be interesting to sponsor the show, the daily news show, Justice on our team's working on signing up some sponsors for that. If you got any suggestions for brands, watch companies, we can be bought. I'll do pretty much anything except for I don't know, anything that's too unhinged. Yeah. So anyway, stay tuned. We're looking for a sponsor.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. If it's unhinged, I'll do it. He doesn't have to. Oh, and also today, if I may, I believe sometime around 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, we're doing a radio interview. Yeah.
Radio interview for an ESPN station in Jacksonville, Florida. Because the afternoon drive host will be at the Jacksonville Auto Show. And I somehow we'll talk about the Jaguars and the and I'm talking.
Does Maurice Jones-Drew still play for them? I don't think so. Does he? And, I'm just gonna do my best to remember former Jacksonville Jaguars players. Who was the quarterback? Byron
Leftwich was at one time, and we can talk about all that.
It'll be fun. It's gonna be cool. Never been on an ESPN show before, so we're both looking forward to that. Maine wants to know if we can write an extended warranty on a 2019 heavy-duty diesel tuned/deleted truck. When I bought it, the work had already been done to the truck, but didn't come with a manufacturer warranty. Maybe, probably not, but maybe. Maybe I'd have to call the underwriter and ask them. I really don't know. They're probably going to say no. I'm sorry. They're probably going to say no.
Most underwriters don't want to write a extended warranty on a vehicle that's been adjusted.
Too much risk. Too much risk.
Yeah.
All right, we've got multiple people suggesting that the Blue Oval should sponsor us. We would welcome it. Would the narrative change? Probably not.
It would not. It would not. I'm afraid it wouldn't. So if they think for a minute that they said, well, we'll pay you $10,000 a week to sponsor your thing if you say nice things about Ford, just between Zach and I and those of you listening, I would tell them to keep their $10,000 on a weekly bit. Well, let's talk about it.
We can talk about it. Yeah. How nice would be my next question. How nice do we have to be?
Yeah. How nice do we have to be? And
Manscaped. No, I talked to them and I just can't see us doing that. That one was a no. Starlink, that could be interesting. State Farm could be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Subaru and Mazda, thank you, Justice. Okay, everyone, enjoy the day. Pops, I'll see you here again tomorrow evening. And
7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time? 7 Eastern, 4
let's just play it by ear, but we'll go on tomorrow night. It'll be fun.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. All right, I love you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We appreciate it. And,
I think very highly of you as well.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Love you, handsome.